What is poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another Your Morning Drive. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We're here. We're doing another Your Morning Drive. I am Logan Lewis. I am your host, as always, today. We are live, as always, or I'd say as always, as recent, from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. If you enjoy what you hear today, do me a favor and send this to one friend, coworker, family member who needs to hear our conversations in the morning to start their day. You can find us on Apple and Spotify to listen, and if you want to watch, you can on YouTube as well. If you want to do more than just watch or listen, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok, where you have show updates, episode announcements, fun clips, and more. My guest today is an Atlanta native and the host of The In Between, a weekly podcast about life, relationships, work, mental health, pop culture, and wait for it, all the things in between. No matter how vulnerable, no matter how hilarious, she'll leave you enlightened and entertained to get you through your day. Please welcome Elizabeth.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going great other than the allergies be allergy-in.
Yeah.
Georgia. So quick thing. Seasonal allergies are new for me, as in like this year.
Really?
Didn't realize you can get allergies as a grown-up. So just add that to the list of things that suck as an adult. Yeah. But other than that, we're good. We're good.
Tell me about it. It's the absolute worst.
It is. It was a lot worse 3 weeks ago, though. Thank goodness.
Mine was a lot worse last night, and I asked my wife. I was like, "Do I cancel?" Because I don't want to be right every 15 minutes or even every 5 minutes. Right. And she was like, "Well, I feel like if you're going to cancel, you got to cancel tonight to give them more notice." And I was like, "Yeah, but like, what if it's better in the morning kind of thing?"
Right.
And she was like, "Just sleep on it. You'll be fine." And sure enough, it's way better today. Last night I was sniffling every 5 minutes. And I take a daily over-the-counter allergy pill. And because I've always had horrible allergies,
really?
And I'm an asthmatic as well, so just horrible. I have an inhaler with me at all times, just in case. I am prepared. If I'm like on a 3-hour road trip and I get like an hour and a half in and I realize I forgot the inhaler, I'm turning back and going and get it.
Oh, absolutely.
And luckily now I'm at the point where I'm doing so well that I have 2 inhalers, one for home, one for the car. So no matter where I'm at, they just refilled my prescription faster than they should have. And I was like, screw it. I'll have one for home. I'll have one for the car. Maybe I'll get a third one because they keep texting me. Maybe they assume it's allergy season, so I'm using it a lot more. Point. So I have another one that's ready to pick up. So maybe I'll bring one to my parents' house or something.
There you go. That's all I hear from that is accommodation. You are accommodating yourself, my friend.
I'm trying to. I always felt like, did you ever go to like your parents' friends' houses as a kid? And, the adults are doing adult things and you as a kid, you're supposed to entertain yourself. And you see like, oh, wow, they've got a phone charger in the living room. They've got a phone charger in their office. They've got a phone charger in their kitchen. I was like, that's the level I want to be at, where no matter what room I'm in, I have the thing I need, so I don't have to unplug, carry it to this room, plug it in, unplug it here, take it back to the bedroom, plug it in next to the nightstand. Like, I just want to have a phone charger in every single room.
It's so funny you actually say that exact example, because I'm laughing because literally one of my girlfriends, she's like very organized, very, very organized, all the things. And I remember being at their house and they had extension cords in every room. Mm-hmm. And this sounds so like ridiculous now that I'm saying this out loud. And like, I was like thinking to myself, that's so convenient. You can plug all your things. Why do we not have more extension cords? And instead, I'm just over here hustling and bustling, taking out the light to put in the phone charger. And, I went and bought extension cords or like the power strips, not extension cords, the power strips, because being more convenient. And I'm like, is this adulting or is this just,
I don't know, because so we didn't buy our house until a year and a half after our best friends did. And our best friends, they have that convenience. Like no matter what room they're in, they've got the thing that they need. And I was like, man, when I buy a house one day, like that's what I want my life to be.
God, we're such adults. We're
so
adults.
You have, like, when you're a kid and they prepare you for adulthood, they don't tell you about all of the nitty gritty things like this, like the small victories. Like, I got an Apple TV in every room now. Like, I haven't gotten to that point yet, but like, I want every room to have a TV and an Apple TV plugged into it. So no matter where I'm at, I can pick up on the show that I'm watching. Like that's just convenience.
Yeah. I would argue they didn't tell us about a lot of things as a grown up, but yeah. It is the small ones. It is like, you know what, I'm winning here. This is convenience to me. So yeah, work hard, not smarter, but I'm always learning that lesson myself.
Yeah. So it's funny that I want to tackle this thought you had before we started. Also, is it a coincidence that you're ADHD podcaster brain?
ADHD. You're in light company, my friend. Just
okay.
FYI.
Okay. Is it coincidental that your shirt and your watch band match pretty much?
Oh no, I didn't even realize that.
The watch band's a little darker, but
yeah.
I mean it works.
I'm actually repping a Tallulah Gorge shirt.
I see that.
But I'm actually a poser because when I went camping at Tallulah Gorge, I didn't actually go down to the gorge. So my dog, she was with me at the time and she couldn't do the stairs because I think they're like the wired stairs. Wired or metal. Like it's the same kind of stairs like Amacola Falls.
Right.
And yeah, my pup wasn't having it. So I just looked down there and I was like, that looks fun.
The ones that even us as humans should question when we walk up and down them. The ones that you're like, oh, this feels like it hasn't been screwed in or tightened in like 50 years.
And I'm terrified of heights. So honestly, it was probably a save anyways, because my husband cannot deal with it. Like I am terrified of heights, but I will put myself in positions because like in my head, I think maybe if I just like more exposure, like exposure therapy, more exposure to the height, maybe it'll like take away the fear. No, like I think it just reinforces the fear, but I'm not going to give up. Anyways, I go hike, all the things. I looked down, I was like, that's pretty steep stairs. So I probably would have like a mini panic attack at some point.
I have figured, see, this is ADHD, the tangents of podcasts of like, I have a point I want to make, but before I make it, I'm going to make this point first. I agree with you because as I've gotten older, I have realized that I don't necessarily have a fear of heights. I more have a fear of not being secure. Like, when I'm high up,
that's like, probably more what it is.
If I am tackling like for example, so last year we went to Charleston with some friends as like a little weekend trip, and we went and toured like one of their battleships, like the Civil War, not Civil War, that they didn't have battleships in the Civil War, the like World War II battleships, you know. And these soldiers, they had to, when they went downstairs in these ships, because those ships were so compact, you were going down at like the steepest angle, and the stairs were so small because people were so much smaller back then than they are today. Like both in height and in weight. Like people were so tiny back then. So the stairs are like this wide.
No, thank you.
And you're going at an angle that is, it's just so steep, and you have to duck your head to get in it. And even going up and down those stairs, I felt mortified because if I was in a hurry.
No. And you're also now dealing with heights and spaces. That's two different things.
Yes. And it's more of like, damn, I could slip because my foot is triple the size of this tiny ass step. Yeah. So it's more of the feeling of like, I'm not secure here. Like I could trip, I could fall, I could slip. All my friends will make fun of me because if we're going down a set of stairs together, they're all just like, you know, waddling down the stairs, and I'm to the right holding onto the railing.
Me too.
Because I don't want to fall.
Right, gravity.
It's either the fear of embarrassment or the fear of just slipping and falling and hurting myself. Maybe it's both.
Or death.
Yeah,
Let's just throw that into the mix too.
Death too.
Maybe that's my anxiety talking, but you know what I mean.
Well, I'm there with you. The anxiety is definitely, the anxiety be anxietying. So, but anyway, back to the point I wanted to originally make, if I can remember it. You said, what are the lessons learned or the your biggest like whoopsie daisy when it comes to when you podcast it or whatever?
I love asking podcasters this.
So I did an interview with if I'm being honest, I forget her name, but like a journalist, like / author. And she was pretty reputable. She had a pretty good reputation. Okay. I won't say she was famous, but she was probably a C-list celebrity. Okay. Not famous, but well known enough to the community. Okay. Like if you asked my wife or my mom, they might not know who she is, but if I asked like another like podcaster in her niche, they'd be like, "Oh, wow." Right. So, did I just hear a voice? Was there a voice? Or did I just hear things?
I heard that too, but I don't know what that was.
I feel like we're alone here, but maybe we're about to get killed.
Or maybe there's a ghost.
There could be.
Fireworks co-working. What you got? What witchcraft you doing over here?
For real, Jesus. You could have warned me that there was ghosts here. So I recorded an episode with her, an interview. It was amazing. We had great chemistry. The vibe was amazing. And this was something that kind of like you and I, like, and you and I are far less busy than this person.
Right.
So even we took like a month to coordinate, like when this was going to happen. But for this was like 2 or 3 months of planning, getting along her schedule. She was about to launch a book. She was about to do like this whole thing. And, we recorded, and at the very end of the recording, when I went to go hit end, I realized I never hit start.
I was scared you were going to say that. Oh, no.
And I didn't say anything in the moment because I was like, maybe I can salvage this somehow.
Right.
So I just said, thank you for your time. I can't wait to post it. I'll let you know when I'm done editing, and I'll send you a copy of it or whatever. So I give it a day, and I'm like freaking the fuck out. Like, I am like, oh my God. Like, again, this person isn't huge, but she was famous enough that she could, if she wanted to, she could probably ruin my reputation.
And also, you took so much time to coordinate. So you're thinking, oh my God, if I have to reschedule or something, it's going to be like 6 months.
So I figure out that I can't salvage it.
Oh no.
It's gone.
No.
So I told her this, and she absolutely bitched me out.
No.
Cursed me out. Just said, how
gosh.
unprofessional of you. I can't even believe that you.
Really?
She just shit on me.
And you're a one-man show. Because you're
one-man show.
You edit, you're the director, the producer, the talent, everything.
Yep, everything.
No respect. As an
just
artist?
Shit on me.
That's horrible.
It was horrible. And at the time, I was like, what a bitch. But like in hindsight, I almost am like, yeah, maybe I needed to be humbled a little bit. But at the same time, like she was probably just pissed because also it took so long to coordinate it. We finally did it. The vibe was amazing. Like, I wish I could have posted this to this day because it was probably the most organic and flowing conversation I've ever had. And it just was horrible.
Interesting. Well,
and maybe I was even more in shock because of the way she shit on me so hard.
That's the point I was going to make.
Because we vibed so well. And I was like, damn, this person was just my best friend. And now she's just telling me to go kill myself.
It makes you wonder also, well, did she freaking say that?
Maybe that was extreme, but she basically told me to go fuck myself and never to contact her again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It makes you wonder if it was authentic then. Like,
maybe.
And I don't mean that to say like you can't bring that on people, but that is such a 180. I'm wow. Hold on 1 second.
It was like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation.
Yeah, and I just even though she's not a artist, she is an artist. She's a creative. Like, I just think like as a creative, you have to have respect for your fellow creatives, and whatever space you're in, things happen. Also, as a creative, we all know we're struggling here, whether or not we've reached that success, like maybe they have, like we're trying to get there. I just think there's like a understanding and a patience that just it's like an unspoken rule of creatives. You know what I mean?
And you know what? And she was really inspirational to me because what she did, I'll have to find her. The name is sticking out to me now in my head, but I'll send you a link later. She makes dramatizations on audio only. So it's like she's filming a TV show, but there's no visuals. You hear like the clanking of dishes. You hear the storm. If it's storming outside, you hear all.
It's like a production, but it's like a podcast.
Imagine watching your favorite TV show with your eyes shut. So you're listening to a TV show.
Interesting.
It's very interesting, and she writes it. It's treated like a TV show. It's episode by episode. It's an 8-episode series that she releases weekly. Like a TV show, but it's in podcast form. It's so cool. And I was like, I want to do that. And she casts voice actors or her friends or her family to play each of these characters. And I was like, that is so cool. I want to write a TV show.
Yeah.
But in audio form.
Right.
And the fact that she shit on me so hard, I was like, damn, I wanted to work with this girl.
But maybe you don't. And also, hearing you talk about what she does, I'm like, that makes her reaction even more bizarre.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's in this space. You know what I mean? Well, and even listening, this is your hint to be kind. Things happen. I mean, I have seen so many horror stories in, like, the podcasting groups I'm in. So, I mean, shit happens. It really does. I'm trying to think of, like, the most recent... I finally had my first, oh no, the recording didn't work moment, but mine was because of remote software. which apparently technology isn't always reliable. Go figure.
Right.
But yeah, thankfully I was able to re-record, but we were friends. So there's that, but still inconvenient. But I will say when we re-recorded, it was actually a better episode. So we jokingly called the first one a warm-up, so to speak.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's good. It's good that it ended up working out for you in the end.
Sorry, I'm like, you just had a crushing story, and I'm like, mine worked out.
No, well, I mean, it taught me just like to have that attention to detail too.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
just to make
really
sure my
excited.
shit's. I was so excited for this. I was so nervous, and maybe that's why I forgot to hit record.
It's an innocent mistake. I mean, yeah, you'll probably never do it again, but I don't think the reaction was warranted.
But you know what's funny is this was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Really?
And I still, like, you've maybe, like, we've been making eye contact this whole time, like, I'll glance down and make sure that it's recording.
Oh, I did notice
like,
that.
I do glance
sure.
down and just make sure it says recording and it says 16 minutes, but what if that's wrong?
Well, I'm laughing, but also you never know, because that's basically what happened with my recording. But it was remote software, so maybe that's why. But
you
I
know,
don't know.
I also struggle with this outside of this. So, like, I have this kind of anxiety of, like, the door's not locked. So, like,
Oh, yeah, I have that too.
I will get up and lock the door, and then I'll turn around and take 3 steps away, and then I'll go, is it locked? And I'll turn back around, and I'll lock it again.
I do that.
Or I'll unlock it and then lock it.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll shut, like, another door in the house, and I'll think, like, well, maybe the wind from that door getting shut unhinged the lock. And I'll go back to that door.
Yeah.
See that it's locked, and I'll twist the knob to make sure it's locked still. And I do this every morning before work.
It's like a double tap.
It is. It's frightening. When I pull out of the driveway and click my little garage door thing, I have to watch it close and hit the ground.
I feel that.
Before.
That's not weird.
And as it's shutting, I'm looking at it, and I do this thing where I'm like, it's shutting, it's shutting, it's shutting, it's shut, it's shut. And I sit there and stare at it for like 5-10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's shut.
Make sure it doesn't come back up.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I pull away. And even then, and this is a godsend, when I got this garage, it has an app companion with it that kind of connects to like Alexa and everything. So whenever my garage opens or closes, I get a notification that says it opened at 6:07 p.m. or a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
So I can look back at work. If I'm like, did the garage door shut? I can pull my phone up and look at the fact that it is closed.
Our little anxious hearts love technology.
God.
No, I feel that. We live in a complex, but like when I, like in high school, when I would leave home, like we had a garage, and I was the same way. I would not leave until that door was shut, and it was shut for good. Because you never know.
And it's like, I'm not necessarily afraid of like being robbed.
No.
It's just the door.
Yeah, it's just a thing. It's like a tick. Almost.
It is a tick.
Yeah.
100%.
My problem is more like, do all the things, and then once I've left, my anxiety kicks in. Did you turn that off? Did you do that? Did you lock the front door? Yeah. Because sometimes things are so much on autopilot, you know what I mean? Like you don't, at least that's my problem, is like those kind of things are autopilot. And most often I'm fine, but then once I have the thought, could it be wrong? Then I can't get off that thought.
And you know what's horrible about that, and what I just said also, so it's escalated. So now, and what's worse is I take medication for this.
Yeah.
And it's not gotten better. And every time I go back, I'm like, yeah, it's all right. But it's not. It's horrible. Now it's gotten to the point where I need to make sure all of the stove clickers are all off. Which is a valid thing.
Right.
My house shouldn't burn
Do you have
down.
gas? If you have gas, I get that a lot.
It's electric.
But still, it's important. I mean, my husband is so bad about leaving those on. It's kind of insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to vent to you also, and my wife will hear this when I get home because I forgot to tell her this morning when we woke up. Last night, she went to bed before me, and I want to get your honest opinion about this.
Okay.
We're both married. Mm-hmm. Let's paint the picture. You and your husband, you're watching TV, and you both pass out watching TV.
Typically, it's me, but yes.
So, and me too. I also pass out. She gets up and she goes to bed and she checks the front door, makes sure it's shut and locked. She checked it, and she checked the back door. She did not check the garage door. Okay. So I get up and I go upstairs finally, whenever this is, hours later. She's fast asleep. I sit down and lay down in the bed, and I'm like, I feel like the garage door is open.
You have a feeling.
So I run downstairs, open the door to the garage, and sure enough, it's wide ass open.
Oh no.
And the first thing that popped into my head is like, why the fuck didn't she check that? we could have been robbed, and we were both asleep.
Right.
Someone could have walked in and stolen shit out of our garage.
Mm-hmm. It's scary.
Do I have the right to be pissed?
I'm trying to think of how I'd respond.
Because, how would I love this as therapy now. How would I be like, hey, last night you left the garage door open. Mm-hmm. And you know what's even crazier is we had run an errand earlier that day.
Yeah.
And you know how when you're about, this is maybe TMI, you know how when you're about to be home, your brain is like, time to go to the bathroom. You've got to go to the bathroom. You got to go to the bathroom. And you have to run inside to go to the bathroom to make sure you make it. I was in that state. So I was like, oh my God, I got to go. And she's like, it's okay. I got the doors.
Oh, no.
She didn't get the doors.
Trust broken.
I looked at 1 a.m. and the garage door was wide ass open.
It's on the app, honey. It's on the app. Yeah, Stan is really bad about not locking the door.
Yeah, Catherine too. She'll pick up a package off the front porch, shut the door, and not turn around and relock it.
My thing, Stan will be about to leave, and we live in an apartment, so it's just 2 doors. It's our balcony door and our front door.
Sure.
And mind you, we live on the 5th floor, so the balcony door, realistically, is probably not an end all be all.
No one's climbing up,
but I need it locked. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah.
And I will lock the doors. We're all ready to go, about to leave, and then for the 4th time, he has to go walk out on the porch to test the weather, and I'm like, you just went out there 3 times. You know what it feels like. And then he won't lock it back. And I don't know why that drives me crazy. And then we'll be literally about to walk out. I'll just look down the apartment and I can just tell that the lock is not turned a certain way.
Yeah.
And then, I'm just bitching. And I'm like, all right, am I overreacting right now? I don't know. But literally 4 times we've locked it. He's really bad.
Okay, so I'm glad that we all struggle with something similar here.
We do. And we live in Atlanta where you get an email oh, this person was robbed. So it really shouldn't be, a thing we should definitely check all the time. But
and I live in the suburbs of Atlanta, and even then, you live in Atlanta.
Yeah, I live in Atlanta.
Yeah, you live in a great, you said by Ponce City Market?
Yeah.
Jealous, love that place.
You say that, and then you live there, and it is, okay, it's I have a
it's a nice place,
I have a love-hate. The traffic is insane because there's too many people in Atlanta that are not from Atlanta, so they cannot drive. And then Atlanta is already not really well designed in form of the infrastructure. So
Correct.
I have a whole soapbox on that. I will not bore you with it because y'all are probably in traffic right now, bitching and moaning and thinking, I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah, they're literally stuck on Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, and they're just like, ah!
Or on one of the 15,000 Piedmont or peach trees.
Oh, what people? Hey, I'm in the spot. Where are you? I'm on Piedmont. Well, I am too, and you're not here. Oh, I'm on West Piedmont. Oh.
And then people refer to areas of Atlanta differently. And I understand me living in the city, I'm probably going to be more familiar with the neighborhood names, Old Fourth Ward,
yes,
Ponce Highlands, Virginia
right,
Highlands, Buckhead.
Right.
And West Midtown has grown so much in the past 5 years. So now West Midtown has all of its little sub areas. And I don't even know why I'm now going on a tangent. I told you guys I have feelings about infrastructure in the city of Atlanta, but talk about being old. Gosh, I think the theme is adulting this episode.
Because we're 25 minutes in, and I've not even asked you about who people are. People are like, who's Elizabeth? Who is Elizabeth?
She's got strong feelings.
She's got
traffic.
strong feelings about anxiety and Atlanta traffic.
Oh
but who is she? So let me just do that. Who are you?
Who do you want me to be? No, I'm just kidding. Well, let's see. I'm a fellow podcaster, which I really like that we're both podcasters because I don't get to talk to other podcasters often. Really trying to work on more guests anyway, but because you're a guest king, that's you're awesome with it. But how my podcast started is, when was it? It was 2017. I read this book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And it was all about finding your personal legend. And how old was I? I was 25, I think, when I read it. And I really resonated with this idea of what is your personal legend? It's this thing that is only true to you. It's inside, this thing that drives you. It's your big dream, your big wish, your big ambition. And the book I love because it's written very simply. And I feel the way it's written, even though it's a male protagonist, it's not gender specific. So it's really written for you to embody the main character in the journey of self-discovery of the story. And it talks about like as you get older, like, you know, life happens. You know, you have kids, you gotta feed them, or you gotta pay your bills, you gotta work, this and this, like how the personal legend diminishes. And like there's some like godly elements to it, which I'm not really religious, I'm spiritual, and you know, you interpret it how you want, right? So he's kind of more like a mentor to this young person. And so I really started sitting with that personal legend, like what's my personal legend? And I started thinking to myself, well, what's my dream job? And who says I can't do that? And I've always been a performer. I was a theater kid. I love connecting with people. And then I'm also an only child. So I also like really like talking to people. And I read this book because I was like not in between jobs, but I was like about to try and go get a new job, like that entry to mid-level, that jump.
Sure.
Because I'd only graduated a few years ago. And I wanted to make more money. So I read this book, and I'm not going to name it because it is a very popular book, but like was not a fan. I thought it was going to be about how to make more money, you know, whatever that means. And really the book was just about this person talking about themselves, how they had nothing, and then all of a sudden they had something. But that they never talk about how they got it. So I was already turned off because I'm like, how am I supposed to buy into this when this person clearly isn't sharing like how they did make the money kind of thing. So that's what started. What eventually led to the in-between was, how do I get from A to B? How do I make more money? I'm gonna pursue my dream job, making lots of money, and I'm gonna talk about that. This was like little me, naive Liz. This is before the podcast was even an idea. So that turned into TED Talk, because again, I love public speaking. I love connecting with people, but I'm like, I'm not like an astrophysicist. I'm not like some mental health psychologist, doctor, or whatever. Like, what's my shtick to be, you know, have a TED Talk? So then at the time, podcasting wasn't anywhere as big as it is now, but it was starting to get more popular. And I was like, this seems like a cool vehicle to like be able to like perform, to talk, to connect. And then my husband actually helped me come up with the name. God, those allergies.
Yep.
My husband helped me come up with a name called The In-Between. And it was because I was like navigating from A to B. Like that was it, which was a mouthful. And he's like, I think you need to simplify. And he's like, what about the in-between? Because he's an artist, and he was just like kind of doodling and like had these like arrows, and it was like, and then I started thinking, wait, there's something here. Because like life is just one giant in-between. Then like I can talk about bunches of different topics because like everything's an in-between.
Right.
And then boom, that's how that came to be. This was in 2017 or so, 2018. 2017, I had a major car accident. I got plowed by a humongous truck, not like an 18-wheeler, but like think of like the biggest box truck you can think of. Like, yeah, ran me over kind of thing. I always say it was like the best case scenario or the best worst case scenario, because I didn't have like anything like sticking out of my body, but I was definitely fucked up inside.
Yeah.
I had a really bad, serious concussion. Long story short, you can listen to my podcast to talk about all this, but it messed me up and I was out. Like I was whatever.
Yeah.
So I went through my period of healing. That's what I call it now. Back then it was just survival.
Yeah.
And
hell.
Yeah. And I was ignoring my mental health. I was ignoring what was going on, because I also didn't understand what was going on, because I was gaslit by so many doctors. I was in so much chronic pain. They just assumed I was faking it. And I'm like, I am a strong ass biatch. Okay. I am not faking this pain. This is not, no. Like I need y'all. So it took like 2.5, 3 years for them to finally give me a nerve test, which sounds crazy. Why would they not do this to begin with? To find out that, oh, my entire shoulder blade, like the thoracic nerve, is no longer stimulating my shoulder blade. So my shoulder blade for 3 years had just been hanging out. Like the accident impact was so hard, it like ripped my entire right side.
Jesus.
Yeah. It still doesn't work, but I ended up going back to, I have been like in 3 years of physical therapy. So I learned how to like basically hold my shoulder blade manually in place.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So all this to say, things were not good for me. The podcast was a distant dream. Hit my personal rock bottom during COVID. Not that COVID was the rock bottom, but it just kind of exacerbated it because you couldn't do anything, right? So I was stuck to just sit with myself. And I've always been kind of an open person, but whatever. So long story long, at this point, I get through my depression and I finally launched the podcast. And it has been a labor of love. It has been challenging, to say the least. But when you are on your path, whatever your path is, and I think your path is defined by you, only you can define your path. I think the universe, whatever you believe in, will conspire to like help it, like let it happen for you. That doesn't mean it's not going to be easy, but like things just happen. Like You meet people that are going to help you in your journey. You find the right resources. And part of that's like, obviously you're looking for it because like, once I was like mentally sound, I was out of my depression, my funk, and I was like, hell yeah, Liz 2.0, you know, I was pursuing podcasting. I was finding groups. I was finding connections, this and this, that and that. And all I wanted to do was focus on my consistency because I heard that was the hardest part, which freak yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because, but this year is my year of really focusing on growth because it'll be 2 years in May. Oh, actually, oh my gosh, this episode coming out, like the 2 years mark is like next week.
Wow.
So wow, I didn't
realize that.
Didn't realize that. So that's exciting. It's also my birthday week next week. So shout out to me.
Hell yeah. Happy birthday.
My first boyfriend I ever had told me that it was the Valentine's Day of May. My birthday's May 14th. So you'll never forget it. But anyways, so my story is I want to connect with people. I want to bring fun stories. I want to talk about things that make you think, introspect, but I also have like a comedic entertainment element to it. So I would say entertaining and empowering. It's enlightenment entertainment as well. But the biggest, I would say, pillar, if that sounds so cheesy, like core value, if we really want to get businessy with it, of the in-between is self-love. Because self-love is what gave me the courage to think that I could do it. Self-love is the thing that when I was at my rock bottom, and I won't get into the hairy details, but it was pretty dark and grim, which was new for me.
Yeah.
I'm somebody who feels a lot of things, and all of a sudden I felt nothing. And I don't know how to describe that other than literally the pit of my stomach. I remember sitting on my couch, and I was like, I feel empty, and this is scary. Self-love is what made me get help. Even though I could not help myself, self-love is the thing that made me talk to my therapist and say, I need to tell you some thoughts I've been having because this isn't right. I know this can't be good. Self-love is the thing that helps me believe in myself to keep going even when I'm like, what am I doing this shit so hard? Because let me tell you something, for anyone who either is a podcaster or wants to get into podcasting, you don't make money off this thing. Like, it takes some time to get there.
Yeah.
And I am not even at a point yet, but
Facts.
that's also why I'm trying to grow. But it's about the passion. It's about what I'm trying to do with this. So if anything, who am I? I want to be the person that makes self-love cool, the thing that makes self-love relevant, the thing that makes you go, wait, I need this. I need to love myself enough to like ask for what I deserve, to go after what I want, to respect others. Like self-love, it sounds really cheesy, and I feel like I've said self-love now 15 times, but I think it's the biggest thing that we need to survive in society. Because one, no one's teaching us this. No one is telling you. I mean, okay, I don't want to say no one. Like, I came from a single mother household. My mom is freaking fantastic, and she always showered me with love. And really, one might argue that she is what instilled that in me. But I know not everyone has that. And I just want to be a vehicle to share that. So you'll always get a little bit of self-love in the in-between because it is something I truly believe in. And at first, I thought I was a little cheesy. And I'm like, people aren't going to buy this. They're going to be like, this girl's weird. Because it's like, I'd never want to be like let's talk about our feelings, which we talk about our feelings, but it's not like that. And it's interesting because now that I've been doing this, and I've developed a little bit of a following, not like anything huge yet, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have people reach out saying, thank you.
That's
like,
awesome.
I need this. I needed to hear this today. I need to like allow myself to love myself. Because like society is hard as hell, right? We have all these pressures. Adulting, as we've already talked about, is impossible. You know, we're locking those damn garage doors. And if you don't have you, who's going to have you? And that's just kind of a big pushing, like it's a big, what's the word? Like mindset idea that propels me forward. And then I always ask myself, why not me? And I think like the confidence comes from that self-love. It's not a cockiness, it's a confidence. It's a self-worth, if that's a better word choice.
Yeah.
So that's who I am.
Wow. Jesus. That's really good. I loved all of that. That was fantastic. I hope somebody, even from that little tidbit, got something out of that because you said a lot of facts.
Yes.
Like, there's no opinion in there.
No.
That's all true.
Yeah, it is. It 1000% is. And maybe some people listening may think, oh, what is this? This sounds kooky. But if you really think about it, Like, it's I'm talking about loving you.
Yeah.
Like, you love yourself. That shouldn't be a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I guarantee if you think about it, ask yourself, well, do you love yourself 100%? Do you love yourself to ask for the raise? Do you love yourself to propose? Do you love yourself to make the crazy career direction choice or goes in a different direction?
Yeah.
Do you love yourself to fight for your worth? Maybe it's a rhetorical
question.
question.
I feel like a lot of people would say no to that.
No, they wouldn't. I agree. And it's not because they don't love themselves, but they don't know how.
Do you think people, because I think I fall into this category, do you think people care about what other people think about them more than they care about themselves?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean,
I do.
Not to get too like West America or whatever, but yeah. I mean, society, it's all about, think about social media. Like, it's the highlight reel. Like, we've been
no one shares the divorce photo.
Exactly. Nobody, we don't live in a society where we're seeing the lows. We're seeing the hard parts, the cracks in the system, the cracks in your life. I do think that is changing. I really do. But still, we have a long way to go. It's like disbanding what we've been taught. I mean, as a woman, Lord, going through, I remember in the early 2000s when all the celebs were, not eating. And it was like, oh, look how skinny. And, here's an unflattering angle of Britney Spears, and she looks horrible. It's like, that's just a bad angle, but she's still beautiful kind of thing. That was, a really weird example. I don't know why I went that way. But because if you've seen Britney Spears' social media, we're all concerned.
It's a problem. But, hey, I did see something yesterday. As of yesterday, her conservatorship is gone. She's free.
Oh, completely?
Completely.
Nice. That's great.
Shouts to Britney.
I want to read her book. I heard that if you read her book, her social media behavior is explained. So
interesting.
We'll see.
Maybe that's to sell her book.
Maybe. Because we're all wondering what's going on, girl. But hey, looks like she's having fun.
Some kind of fun.
But in terms of your question, do you think people worry more about their perception, what people perceive them as than themselves? Yes, I do agree. I think so. And I don't think, I don't want that, of course, but I understand why that is. I myself have struggled with that, and I still struggle with that. It's imposter syndrome. And one way that I think about it is, it's that inner negative narrative, right? I'm not good enough. I know when I first started doing the podcasting, and even before that, when I was so depressed, what was the inner narrative? You're not going to do this. You're a loser. You can't get it started. Because in reality, I was depressed as fuck. I wasn't even taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Brushing my teeth, taking a shower. That's how bleak it was. But I wasn't thinking about that. All my brain was focusing on was what I lacked, what I wasn't doing. Oh, you have all these dreams. Well, if you have these dreams, then why aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
So in my therapy, it was disbanding that thought and releasing me from the pressure. And you got to start from the bare bones, babe. You can't even take care of yourself. And it was starting over, a reset. And that's what taught me, wait, the world didn't end. I'm even better. And I actually launched the podcast. It enabled me to launch the podcast. So the thing I just want to say about this is your inner narrative is your brains are designed to do what's easiest for you. I'd always tell my therapist, why is my brain designed to screw me over? Why is it making me feel like a piece of shit, like a loser, like I'm not worth something? And she would explain to me, it's only going to do what it knows. So if you have this very strong negative thought pattern, that's where it's going to go every time. You have to change that. You have to retrain it. And that is so hard. That transition, and it's something that I think will always be a work in progress because we also care about what we're doing, but once you start to retrain that inner negative narrative, and I just view it as this is imposter syndrome. This is the devil, the naysayer, whatever you want to call it, corrupting me, making me not believe in myself, questioning my self-worth. The more you disband that and work through it, I'm going to say this confidently because I've seen it happen with me, and this took a couple of years and took some therapy. So whoever, if this is you, your path may be different than mine, but it does work. When I have those thoughts, I'll say those thoughts of self-doubt, I can switch it easier now. That doesn't mean I don't, they still come, because I care about what I'm doing, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not constant. So I think if we can reshift how we think of ourselves, know and accept it's going to be hard, know and accept, like, it's society has kind of enabled me to view this and to care about what the other person's thinking, the more you work and disband that, you will overcome it. I truly think. And also, side note, most people, like, they're not paying attention to you. And I'm saying that, like, for myself as well, because, like, you do, right? Like, but people, like, we're all selfish for the most part. Like, we really don't care. And for the people that do care, I am going to go on a limb and say 99.9% of them are probably projecting some current thing in their life or some insecurity in themselves. And that sucks, but it's not you. And maybe I'm crazy, and maybe they really are just judging me because they're just horrible people. I have no idea, but I don't care. I don't want to get to me anymore. But that self-love helps the self-confidence, helps the self-worth, and will help you eventually disband that inner narrative that, how am I being judged? Am I doing something okay? Was this okay that I did this? Am I worth to go ask for the promotion at work? Should I go ask for more money? You know what I mean? So that's kind of that.
That's a great answer.
I know, it was very long-winded. I'm
no,
sorry.
but it's great. I mean, this is why you're here. Yeah, that's incredible. Because I definitely struggle with that. I mean, I definitely think the only way I can ever explain anything I feel is just to always give examples.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
no, that's how I do things. I respond to information and, like, internalize it more through, like, a metaphor or through an example.
So, like, example, boys' night, we're going out to the bars. I don't even do that much anymore, but going out to the bars, it's a boys' night, and it's at that season right now where it's, like, kind of cool in the evenings, but it's also kind of warm. Like, what do I wear? So I text all the boys, hey, what are you guys wearing?
Yeah.
Because what if they all show up in shorts and I'm the only one wearing jeans?
Who cares?
Me.
And why? Why do you think that is?
I don't want to be the odd one out.
Interesting. That's so interesting you say that, because, like, talking about fashion, I want the loudest thing. I mean, granted, I'm saying this now, I'm in a t-shirt and jeans, but I want the loudest thing possible. I want color. I want texture.
Which, me too, but, like, I don't want to be different than the group that I'm with. I say that, but I agree with so much of what you said just now. But
so that tells me that your inner narrative is making you question is making you think that if you stood out, then that means you're less than. Like, there's a lack thereof. But in reality, it's no big deal.
Right. No one cares if
and
I'm
I
wearing
don't mean
jeans.
That
just means I'm more comfortable with the weather that I'm
exactly.
wearing.
And I'm also pleased, and I think you know this, but I just want to say this. Like, I'm not saying this like, duh, Logan, get over it. No. But this is a great example of, like, how your inner narrative will make you overthink something that really is kind of simple. But, and I say this because I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, and this, I'll tell you one current, like, thing that I still struggle with. It's not as bad as it was, but it still comes up from time to time. But when I finally launched the podcast, I was so proud that I finally did the damn thing. And then it was like, because mind you, leading up to it, it's like, you can't do it, blah, 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 blah. Like, you're a loser, you can't launch a podcast. This is my head, by the way.
Yeah.
I launch it, and then it was like, what are you doing? Nobody's doing this. You think this is going to be your career? Like, you should be, like, climbing the corporate ladder and doing that hellhole. You should be doing this. Da, 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 da. It was a whole different imposter syndrome. And I had to keep reinforcing, why not me? Why not me? Who says I can't? And eventually, it quiets that voice. And so when it pops up now, I'm like, psh, do you see me? I have a website now. I've got logos for days. I've had a branding shoot, you know, like, and all these things did not happen from the beginning. Like, they came in throughout time. And that was another thing, is like, I thought I had to have everything together when I started, right. And you definitely don't. I actually recommend do not just start, whatever that is. Because it'll be the thing that holds you back if you think you have to have all of these things figured out before you do that. So on your example, I hear you, and I validate. I don't want to say validate, like I validate the insecurity, but like I validate that weird intrusive thought. But in reality, no, you're not the odd man out. If anything, like you said, you're the guy that's comfortable, because, like, well, yeah, I'm a little toasty now, but, like, tonight when we're really hanging out, I'm gonna feel good. Y'all gonna be freezing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Give me another example. Let's disband this right now.
Okay.
Give me more intrusive thoughts, Logan.
Let's do, okay. Work event. Are you guys wearing a tie? What if I don't wear a tie? Am I going to be looked at as the one who's not wearing a tie, so I don't take it as seriously?
I get that. And I wonder if part of that just because corporate America and the politics involved create like all this other unnecessary anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of on a spiel right now about corporate America, so this might have not been a fair question to ask me because I have very strong biases at the moment. Fuck corporate America. I'm just kidding. I take that back.
It gives you there's a level of stress there though that's like
it's the politics are ridiculous.
Absolutely. Like I show up, I do my job, and I do it well. Why am I worried about if I wore a tie to that conference dinner? Why am I worried about that? Because they always tell you, oh, they see everything. They see everything. The vice presidents, the people in charge, they see everything. They see everything you do.
That's the politics. I hate it.
And it sucks because it does suck you up, and it makes you start to overthink everything you're doing. You know you do your job great. Why isn't that enough? Why do you have to succumb to the...
Play the part.
You have to play the part.
You have to play the part.
You have to suck the balls of the...
Yes.
To put it
I'm having like
grossly.
A visceral reaction to this. Yeah. Not because of the sucking the balls, but just like the politics of it all.
Not the sucking balls, that's fine. But the politics of corporate life. Like, why am I... like, big work event coming up. Oh my God, I'm going to miss... Like, so... At work, I don't like to talk about my day job too much, but like this is a good example. My job has a foundation where they contribute to local charities all around Metro Atlanta. It's great.
Yeah.
Every year they do a golf tournament. It's really nice. It gets everyone together, gets all the sponsors together, it gets all the charities together. It's an awesome event. And I'm involved with our foundation. I'm on the committee or whatever that helps put together these events. And I just found out that I'm going to a bachelor party. It starts the weekend of that golf tournament. And I'm excited for this bachelor party because my buddy's getting married and I'm super excited for him and I can't wait to go on this trip, but I'm going to miss this event. People are going to think, why isn't Logan here?
How far in advance is it?
What do you mean?
I'm assuming you found out, I'm assuming the bachelor party, you don't find out like the week before in the event. You have plenty of time in advance.
Right. It's at the end of May, and I knew about the golf tournament at the beginning of the year. And the bachelor party I found out a month ago.
And see, I hear that, and it's like, well, you're just not going to be able to go to the golf event.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
But your head's probably like...
But my head is like, Logan's not going to be there. Logan's not going to be there.
And he's going to lose every opportunity.
He's going to lose all the opportunities. They're going to look at him like, well, what a scumbag. He went to go drink with his buddies.
Well, I also have this feeling like your work does not have to know everything that you do when you go on your PTO. But
they don't.
But I understand that anxiety. And I don't know if that's our millennial self or what. But in my head, it's like you could say, hey, I'm not going. Or like, hey, this, unfortunately, I have a event. Like, because you're giving them plenty of notice, in my opinion. I have an event. I'm not going to be able to attend for the charity. But what can I do to help support?
And I've done that, and they don't care that I'm gone.
Of course not.
But I think that they care that I'm gone.
So you have to keep reminding yourself they're totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm still amazing. I'm still great at my job. Mm-hmm. You have to, once you've been given that verbal validation.
Yeah.
Even if there's
like the organizer, she was just like, oh, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Hope you have a great time.
So
we'll be sad to miss you.
Exactly.
But it's that sentence. Oh, we'll miss you.
But that just means that's a statement to your character.
That's true.
And see, but
I let those things eat me alive.
And then that is the difference in perspective.
Yeah.
You hear it as, I hear it as, no, that's a testament to your character.
Yeah.
There's a difference there, the negative and the positive.
This could be a whole total therapy session, and we don't even talk about what we each other do, but like, there's also the like, oh, I'm not good enough. Like, This is the thing that I think about all the time. I'm in therapy for it. I talk about it weekly, bi-weekly, whatever. The like, I'm not good enough. And it stems so far back.
Oh, for sure.
But like,
I think that's everybody.
Like, I'm not good enough.
That's where the self-love comes in.
Yeah.
That's where the self-love says, wait, no, Logan, you are.
Yeah.
Like, I am. Who says I can't? Who says I'm not good enough? Why am I saying I'm not good enough? And that's not to say that there's going to be people that put you down. I've already mentioned that. Like, there's going to be people who project their own bullshit onto you. Like the girl that you were talking about in your interview who you had this amazing connection with, and then she just went fucking AWOL.
Yeah.
I would guarantee that chances are she's projecting her own bullshit onto you. And unfortunately, people do that. And it's not right.
It's just something we live with.
Exactly.
It happens.
But in the example that we just shared, your perspective versus how I view it in your situation, those are two different perspectives. And, you jokingly called it a therapy session, but I think people listening can get something out of it.
I think so too.
Is that it does come down to perspective. And here I'm going to drop it again. Self-love is what helps you get the right one. Because like all the things that we're talking about, it's not about saying, oh yeah, I am the shit. And like, I'm going to treat people poorly, this and that, and that. No, it just means that the respect that you put out into the world, you're also giving yourself.
Well said.
But it takes time.
Yes, it does.
Takes time.
I've learned that. It's gotten better over the last couple months, but it does take time.
Just continue to grind at it. Continue to chip at it. And again, that's still going to take time to have the self-awareness of the negative thought pattern. Like that sounds like so psychological, but it's true. And if you can just catch it once, that's growth. That's change. Because guess what? Maybe you'll catch it the second time. If not, maybe you'll catch it the other time after that. And the more you catch, oh, Logan, I feel like I'm an idiot. Like, I can't do this thing, and they're gonna miss me. And this is like a whole speech on my character and my work ethic and like my reputation at my company. No, it's not at all. Like, take the stakes down. You are incredible. They're gonna miss you because you bring a lot of value add. It's not about what you're lacking. It's about, man, he's such a great energy, a great spirit, whatever the case may be, what you do. That's what they're missing. It's not a negative thing about you. It's a beautiful thing. And, you're going to go celebrate your friend, which we know, like, that's a big deal to go to a bachelor party. Mm-hmm. Like, that's like the last hurrah. You don't want to miss that.
No.
So
I'm going to stop paying my therapist and just start talking to you.
Seriously. Do it. Just listen to the in-between.
I know you said, right. I'm going to. I know you said at the beginning of this that you enjoy like public speaking. Just listening to you talk right here, I feel like you should be speaking at like college campuses.
Oh, that's a dream.
You should be absolutely doing that.
That's one thing that I want to focus on. Like, I'll go speak at my alumni sometimes, like my alma mater.
Okay, which is?
KSU.
Okay.
Can I spell
Hootie who?
Yeah, hootie who. I actually just did a alumni panel not too long ago.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it was like for because I graduated in communication, so it was like through that college.
Sure.
But I met some people who are like more with the events for the whole college as a whole, not like the university.
I would love to be involved with that.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted.
Please do.
I'm kind of like, it's still early stages. Like,
I'm a horrible alumni. I don't do anything. They keep emailing me asking me to like verify my alumni verification or whatever.
I finally did that.
And it's been in my inbox as unread for like 2 weeks. And I keep looking at it. And I'm like, I need to do that.
Just FYI, they're going to like spam you with like, buy this, buy that. And I let the guy give me a sales pitch. And then after he's finished, I was like, I really appreciate your sales pitch. I was like, but I'm not paying for this.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was like a stupid amount of money for whatever they're doing. But anyways, it takes like 3 minutes. You should do it. And then just be prepared. They're going to give you like a 5-minute sales pitch.
Okay, that's fine.
And then just be like, I appreciate your time, but no, I gave you the verification and now I'm done.
Okay, good to know.
But no, that is actually, so, funny you mentioned the speak, You know how I told you the original thought or idea that I had was a TED Talk, but
yes.
I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not some Brene Brown or whatever the hell. I realized, like, I will have a TED Talk one day, and it's going to be about self-love.
I can't wait to see it.
So
that is so incredible.
I am manifesting that.
Can you, like, when they give out tickets to that, can you let me be there? Because I was here the day that you said that this is going to happen.
I put it on my vision board this year, actually.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Yeah, 1,000%. Like, when that does happen, I'm going to talk about that full circle moment about like what started this whole career path. And then like the self-doubt even then with like, because the initial thought was a TED Talk, but how do you become a TED Talker? I don't freaking know. I haven't written a book. I haven't discovered a star in a different galaxy or
I'm not a Nobel Peace Prize winner, right? Like, how do I do that?
Changing famine in the Middle East. Like,
I didn't discover the cure to cancer.
Right.
Like,
I didn't find clean water in India. Like, I'm just some chick from Georgia just trying to tell her brain to shut up, Yeah,
you and me both. Except the chick thing. I'm not one of those.
Right.
Let's go back to in between. So, when you were a kid, was there like any creative bones in your body, or was this like out of left field for you?
No. So it's so funny you asked me that because on the way here, I was like talking to my mom.
Me too.
Love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
God, moms are great. And we were just talking about, because I had this really cool interaction with somebody yesterday, and I was just talking about, like, I'm doing it, like the path is being walked. I can just feel the universe working in my favor, this and this. And she's like, I sense it too, honey, blah, 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 because my mom's one of my biggest cheerleaders. And I told her, I was like, I used to think it was weird that from the earliest age, I always had this feeling that I was going to be famous. And I thought to myself, everyone must have this feeling, because who doesn't want to be famous? You know what I mean? And I didn't mean it in the sense of like a movie star or anything like that, but I just had this feeling that people were going to know who I was. And because I was an only child, and there wasn't really many kids in my life growing up because there was a lot of adults, I had to entertain myself a lot. Mm-hmm. And I would act out Disney movies. Like, I would watch them and I would act them out in real time. And I'm talking like age 3, age 4, age 5, from earliest age. And my mom would just be like, what is this kid doing? Like, she would always talk about the Cinderella story. Like, when Cinderella would be on, I would reenact the whole thing. I would yell at the cat, the mice. I would sing the songs, whatever. And once I finally got into acting, that, really, like, that was, and I had like 9 years of singing lessons. Performing, I love performing. And I love that feeling on stage. And I would love to perform again. But now looking back on it, the way I connect in podcasting and connect with people, or like, I think a better way to say it is like when I get those messages from people saying, you help me continue my art. You help me want to keep going. You help me want to start whatever. There is this fulfillment that I cannot describe. And to think about being a performer, being able to connect with people, and being able to like give that message. And I'm not trying to like sound like I am the shit kind of thing. Yeah. Like, I am not a psychologist. I'm just talking about self-love.
Yeah.
But it's such a huge thing. This is what I think I'm meant to do, is to impact people through like public speaking, through being a public figure. It's not about being a movie star or a pop singer or whatever. It's about being, like, I always like to say, like, I don't know if you know who Glennon Doyle is. Yeah. She wrote the book Untamed. Yeah. I want to, like, how that book made me feel, I want to give that to other people. And that was just through her shared story and her emotions. And like, when you talked about, like, I learn things or understand things better through examples. Mm-hmm. That book is all about metaphors to deep feelings and hard moments. And it spoke to me so deeply. Because you can get something from hearing someone's story, but for me, I don't know if it's because I'm, neurodiverse. Maybe you're the same way, with our brains function a little differently, but like being able to feel the fact that my emotions are an ocean wave being stuck in a bucket, like that is going to deeply resonate to me. And I want to share that. So I know I'm kind of getting off a little off topic, but you asked, like, have I always been into performing and things like that? I think so. It just took me a second to find what exactly is my magic. And not that performing wasn't. I was a great performer. I loved it. But this is, especially like now where I'm at with it, oh yeah, like this is my path. This will be my future. I have found the path that I've been looking for. And I'm carving it out for myself in real time. And growing up, I had so much anxiety. Didn't get diagnosed until I was in college, believe it or not, which is funny. And I look back and I'm like, God bless. How did my Nana and my mom not know? But I used to be so afraid of the unknown. So afraid of the unknown.
I am so afraid of the unknown.
And you know what? I learned that the second you embrace the unknown and lean into it, that's where the magic happens.
Really?
Yeah. I was given this advice. Like, this is about to sound a little woo-woo, so hopefully this doesn't discredit me for some listeners, but I said I'm spiritual. I believe, like, in the universe, whether that's God, whatever, I don't know. I think it's unknowable. I think it's just something that you have to accept, right? Talk about the unknown. There you go.
There you go.
I went and had, like, a reading with somebody, like a spiritual reader, and she, like, I was so lost. This was, like, pinnacle depression. Like, I don't even know if I'd gotten to the point with my therapist yet that I was, like, depressed. And I just needed some kind of external validation from someone that these dreams weren't crazy, these thoughts weren't crazy, whatever. And she goes, all I am hearing from your guides is just jump in, lean in, dive in, dive in. So I wrote it in big letters on my whiteboard. And that is how I started the in-between, was I finally looked at it and I was like, I'm just going to start. And if you go and listen to my very first episode, I will probably never take it down because it's called In Between Draft Mode. It's like 8 minutes. I am terrified. I can hear it in my voice. I have no idea what the fuck I'm saying, but it's just about starting. And my idea behind it is for anyone, whether it's a podcast, a creative endeavor, you can go back and listen and see where I'm at, especially when I am at the level of like huge recognition, millions of downloads, all that kind of stuff. You can go back and listen because like I don't have a handout. I don't have a connection. I don't have, a Nepo baby. And this shit is hard. It comes with its own sacrifice. But I want to, if anything, yes, spread self-love, but also show you like, it takes some grit, but you can achieve it. You can go after it. And so this is my way of performing in a way, is like helping people find their worth. And I also want to add, I am not doing that for you. If anything, you are hearing what I'm saying and you're finding it in yourself.
Yeah.
I always, and like, not that people would think otherwise, but I always want to state that because if you think of it as me telling you, then that is external validation. And it has to come from inside.
Yeah.
Internal validation is what slaps, so to speak.
It does.
It is the grounding. It is the foundation. It's what's going to help you not to question whether you wear the tie or not.
Yeah.
It's going to make you go, oh, I'm wearing jeans or wearing shorts, whatever. Joke's on y'all. Yeah, so that's that. I feel like I answered your question kind of, but then we went another direction.
And then we went another direction, but it was good because you answer some questions that I have before I even have to ask them, so that's great.
Really?
So your episodes, so you said, so do you do them with guests? I see your clips, you have guests. You
I'm trying
have
to do more
solo episodes.
Mostly.
What are the solo episodes like?
Well, remember I told you I was the only child?
Yeah.
People are like, is that hard? I'm like, you would think, but, I'm used to being by myself.
I can't do solo episodes.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
they sound so forced.
Really?
Oh, God.
Well, some people, they don't like doing it. And I've listened to some solo podcasts where I get very bored because it just seems like, just a conscious stream of thoughts, but it's just like not entertaining, not engaging, just kind of.
It's not entertaining. It's just me thinking out loud.
And maybe that's where my theater girl tendencies come in, like that performing aspect.
Yeah.
Because I do think of it. And people ask, do you turn it on for the podcast? And I'm like, not really. That's just who I am. Yeah. I'm just that person. Yeah. So maybe that's why it does come a little bit easier to me. But I will draft out thoughts, ideas. I think I started this a little bit last year, towards the end of last year. But I started trying to incorporate more of what's going on in my life because I used to just focus on specific topics or things that I'd read or whatever. But I want people to like me for me, not just.
Right.
And I mean, they do, but I want them to know about me because then you think about your favorite people you follow.
Right.
You know about them.
I know who they are. I know their families. I know everything.
And it's kind of a weird thing, but it's also what I think makes it personable, makes you connect. I love Heather McMahon. So I know her mom, Robin, because she talks about Robin. We know her dogs. We know her husband, Jeff. I love that. And I love her. And I don't know if it's some weird psychoanalysis of feeling connected in a way. It's your online friend. And I don't mean that in a creepy way at all, but that's kind of what it is. And, I do have lots of friends, but when you're alone or lonely feeling, that connection can be your community too. Mm-hmm. So anyways, yes, I'm trying to get into more guests because it is exhausting sometimes doing it by myself. Just because I edit by myself, I do all that by myself. It's a lot. But I do a lot of solo podcasting, but I've kind of gotten into it. I've gotten a good flow of entertainment, funny, but then there's some enlightenment in there as well.
Oh yeah. So I ask all of my guests the same grouping of questions towards I don't want to say they end because we still got some conversation, but I always ask them the same grouping. It's 10 or 12 questions. They're all first date questions.
Ooh.
And they're simple questions, but they kind of tie it all back. So whether I'm interviewing you or a local pastor or a local business owner or Tom Hanks or Oprah or The Rock, I am going to ask those people these same questions too.
Fun.
So it kind of brings it all back together.
Love that.
On a human level. So number one, what is your favorite movie?
Oh my God. I have so many. So I'll give you 3.
That's cool.
Jurassic Park. love Jurassic Park.
Okay.
Jeff Goldblum, call me. Please call me. Yeah, that's also like my celeb crush. Jurassic Park, this one movie that I was raised on, which is kind of hilarious, called Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
Okay.
It's a drag queen movie, and it stars Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo.
What?
So if you want to see the three of them in drag, I highly recommend. But the funny part about it is, like, I would watch that as, like, a little bitty kid, and I had no idea that they were drag queens. I just loved their outfits. It was glittery and sparkly and feathers and boas. And, you know, maybe that's why I'm so open-minded, because, like, I saw all different kinds of people and all the things, but I just loved that movie so much. And then, let's see, one more. I'm trying to think. Man, probably Jurassic Park, Tu Wong Fu. Another movie that is, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but for whatever reason, I could literally watch this movie over and over again. Like, as in, watch it, ends, press start again.
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice with Keira Knightley.
Okay.
I don't know why, but like that, maybe it's because it's like me and my mom's movie, but I love that movie so much. I don't know why. I just watch it over and over again.
Can I tell you this? My favorite movie of all time, no competition, is Jurassic Park.
Shut up. Is that why you stared at me?
Yeah.
You gave me a look. I was like,
That's why I gave you like the, oh my God,
yeah,
you
no,
said it.
I
love
Jurassic
that
Park.
movie.
Holy
shit.
People ask me, like, if they brought back dinosaurs, yeah, no questions asked, I'd be there.
I'd be there.
But what if it happens Jurassic
But I would
Park?
stand at a distance.
Oh, no. I'm like, if I'm going to go, what better way than a T-Rex? Just, I'm crazy. I know.
Listen here. I always have told myself that if dinosaurs ever come back, I'm the friend that they need to stick with.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know what to do. I've seen Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however many there are.
Right.
I know what to do.
Yeah.
I know what to do, what not to do. I know what
Don't
to
make
do.
lots of
Don't make lots of noise.
Yeah. No, I love Jurassic Park.
Oh my God. This is the best.
It.
This just went from being great to fantastic.
No, I love Jurassic Park so much. You know, one thing I love it for so many reasons. Have you read the book Jurassic Park?
Absolutely.
It's actually pretty on par. Like, there's a few things that change.
Things that are really fucked up in the book.
Yeah, the one guy that he dies by the Velociraptor, like the one that I think he says in the movie, it's the guy who's like clever girl.
Yeah.
His death in the book is pretty. No, not his death. Dr. Wu's death in the book is very brutal.
Which is crazy because in the book, Dr. Wu dies.
Yeah, in the movie,
Dr. Wu, he carries all the way on to those Jurassic World sequels.
He's like the bad guy.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he has like a horrible death.
He gets fucked in the book.
Fucked, like ripped open. Blah, like, yeah, no, it's bad.
It's horrifying.
And then Hammond, he dies differently in the book.
Yeah.
Because I think he dies of old age in the movies.
Yeah.
Other than that movie is almost scene by scene of the book, which I think is kind of cool.
It is.
But then the second book is nothing like Lost World, the movie. I don't know what the hell they did there. But
I've not read the second book. Should I?
Yeah.
Just because of my obsession with the franchise?
Yes, because your obsession, you should. It's a little boring in a way.
Okay.
But it's like so different than the movie.
Maybe that's why they made the movie wildly different, because they're like, we're going to bore people to sleep.
Yeah.
And this is a movie about dinosaurs. People should not be falling asleep.
No. But that movie came out in like 96.
Mm-hmm. Still holds up to this day.
And it's because they didn't do CGI. They did the puppets.
Yes.
Like that T-Rex in that movie is a real life-size model. Well,
yeah.
I guess life-size is arguable now. Because
life size that we know.
Evolution, or discovery. But
right.
It's a real thing. Like,
and the scenes that they did use CGI, they planned it perfectly. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you don't know what they're using.
Right.
Sometimes you can't tell if they're using the model or CGI.
And that's
it's beautiful.
1996 technology. So
sometimes it's better CGI than movies we have today.
I agree. And I wonder why that is.
You're the
but
best.
I love that movie though.
You are now
Have you
a
watched
friend.
the Netflix making the movie of it?
Maybe
so
not.
Netflix has a show called Behind the Movie or Making the Movie.
Oh, yes, of course.
And they have a Jurassic Park one.
Anytime Jurassic Park is stapled to something,
Same.
I'm watching it.
I'm like, I'm there. Yeah.
I've watched Camp Cretaceous, the kids show on Netflix. Oh my God. They're bringing it back.
Oh, they are?
They're making
that
another
show.
show.
A little dark for kids.
Very fucked up for
said,
kids.
Shit. My
People are getting
5-year-old niece
murked.
was watching it. Well, I call her my niece. It's my cousin's kid, but I'm an only child, so I gotta have. I'm not ever gonna be an aunt uncle, so I gotta claim that fame when I can.
Yeah, sure.
But she's watching it. And she's like 4, and she's obsessed. And I'm like, I look at my cousin as well. I'm like, this show is a little dark.
Very dark. Well, they're bringing the show back, but it's like a different show, and the kids are like adults.
Interesting.
And they go back.
Okay.
Of course.
Of course.
all these movies make no sense because it's like there should have been one movie.
We keep going back.
People keep going back to the island. They keep getting ripped to shreds, and people are like, let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's make that a thing. I love that you love that. That's amazing.
And I will say I loved Jurassic World, the first one. I thought that was a really good like remake / continuation. But then I have no idea what the hell they did with the second and third one. Those were horrible. And it killed me. It killed me. But like, what happened? Because Jurassic World was so good.
It was. I think people looked at Jurassic World at the same way that they looked at, like, have you seen Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So The Force Awakens was basically like a remake,
but still a continuation.
But it's still a continuation, very identical to A New Hope.
Loved it. Watched it like
Jurassic
12 times.
World, very identical to the first one.
Right, but still its own new original story.
Correct.
Yes, and then
then the sequels just.
Yeah.
What happened?
What happened?
I mean, I liked the whole loose concept of like, and that's what sucks about Jurassic World Dominion is the trailers made it look like humans and dinosaurs are coexisting. Right. Like that has always been a thought.
Not at all what happened.
Not the movie at all.
No.
There was all these like heist scenes and like
oh my God,
motorcycle down alleyways.
Spoiler alert, I did not like Laura Dern's character and what's his name, the other guy getting together romantically.
Yeah. Didn't make sense.
That.
Because they were never romantic in the first in the movie. Forced.
And then also spoiler alert, the locust. Like that was the whole
plot of the bugs. The main plot. That was so stupid.
That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the second one, like the rich person's house, and like they're having like some black market
They're
trade.
doing like auctioning off the dinosaurs.
And then the clone girl, they didn't even go into that plot line.
They ignored it.
That was
she
stupid.
was just an extra body in the third movie.
That was so stupid.
You know what would be really fun is if because now at this point we're friends and we're gonna like get together sometimes. We should do a double date.
Yeah, we should.
Husband and my wife.
That.
Maybe not to Pond City Market because you're sick of that place. But
actually, I'm totally down to go to Pond City Market.
We should absolutely do a commentary watching the movies.
Yes.
And maybe, we'll do it over the course of time. We're not going
I would love that.
Just do a commentary
For
watching
any Jurassic Park fans, like, I would love that.
Yeah. We could upload it to both of our feeds if we wanted it to.
I'm obsessed.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. We have to plan that.
We have to, because that would be so much fun.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Because I am like, not that nerdy's weird, but like I am still a deep nerd.
So
and
nerdy.
I love this kind of shit.
Oh my God.
Love it.
You were listen, so this podcast originally, and maybe we could talk about this on yours more.
Yeah.
But this podcast.
You're going to tell me your whole story on mine.
Yes. Then maybe I'll save it. No, I don't want to forget. You can expand on it more if you want to. This podcast started out as a weekly entertainment coverage podcast. There's a reason I have 300-something episodes.
Yeah.
Is because the first 300 of them were me and co-hosts getting together and talking about current movies, previous movies, TV, all of it.
Let's do it.
Where were you 2 years ago when I needed a good co-host?
Right, seriously. And I'll wear my Jeff Goldblum earrings because, I'm obsessed with him.
You have Jeff Goldblum earrings.
He's my boo.
Okay, heard.
Like, real quick, you heard it here first. Well, I've said it a lot to my friends, but I've never said it on a podcast. But I am manifesting that man will be on my podcast one day, and I have this vision. Because Jeff Goldblum is weird,
iconic and weird.
He is
very weird.
He is the only person that can be creepy, but it not be creepy.
Right?
Do you know what I mean?
He can say something really borderline, like, "Ooh, if I said that to you, you'd be like, that's a little rapey."
Right? And
but if he said it,
right, it's sexual.
Is he to your husband the one guy?
Oh, the hall pass?
The hall pass?
1,000%.
Is it current Jeff Goldblum too, or is it 1996 Jeff Goldblum?
Any variation of Jeff Goldblum. Even The Fly. I'll take that one too.
Okay, just 18 and up Jeff Goldblum, because anything below
I'll take him now because he's such a smooth dresser, but
he is.
Because he's kind of weird, kind of creepy, kind of
very, very weird.
I have this idea of I'm gonna wear a tacky sweater with his face on it, and then he's gonna wear a tacky sweater with my face on it.
Oh my God, and he would do it.
Oh, 1,000%.
That's his brand.
I know he would.
Oh my God, you're amazing.
So yeah, I'm manifesting that. So Jeff Goldblum, if you're listening, I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for you.
I love that so much. Okay. Next up out of those questions.
Yes.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, Oh, I have a whole thing. Sometimes it's okay. Have you watched that documentary on Netflix about infinity?
Yes.
Man, I should have asked you that earlier. We're going to talk about that on my podcast. Okay. I freaking love that.
Which one's infinity?
I forget
what do they talk about?
It talks about the concept of infinity, and it talks about what infinity is, and
Oh, no, I didn't watch it. I watched the trailer, though, for it.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
Okay, I'll watch it later.
It like, it'll melt your brain. Like, to me, it's like the intersection of my spirituality and science.
Okay.
Like, it's amazing.
Okay.
But you talked to, what was your...
Aliens.
Yes, aliens. So, like, we are a little blue rock.
Yeah.
Floating in this infinite, maybe finite universe. Gotta watch that documentary to know what I'm talking about.
Okay, heard.
And we are specks on that blue planet. And then speaking of dinosaurs, that was hundreds of millions of years ago. Like, the concept of time is just like makes your brain implode. So to think that there's not aliens in this humongous, vast universe, because we're confined to this itchy bitchy space. Because I mean, I'm sure you've seen the videos where it's like, here you are, and it zooms out, and and then you're out of the galaxy,
and you get the scope,
and then you're like, wow, like I'm not even a speck.
No.
Like I'm like a speck. Not even the full word.
You're not even like a word.
Yeah, you're like the beginning of like the S. Yeah. Like maybe.
Like
maybe.
the smallest little piece of ink. Yeah.
And maybe actually the pen hasn't even gotten to paper yet.
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
That's where we are. Actually, you know what? We haven't even gotten the pen yet. That's how small we are.
We're looking for the pen. We're in the car trying to write a last minute birthday card, and you're looking for the pen in in your center console of shit.
Exactly. Actually, and maybe we haven't even bought the birthday card yet.
You wake up and you realize, oh, we haven't gotten them a gift yet. And then you run to Target before the birthday party, wrap it in the car, the whole shebang.
You know what? Actually, we're even farther than that. You haven't even met this person and you're not friends with them yet. See where we're going with it?
Yes. I love this so much.
It. So aliens, I do believe them because like it's too much. But this is my thing. And I'm not trying to say they haven't visited. And I'm not saying I want them to necessarily visit, but then again, I'm also like taking like my Marvel
There's no
brain.
way they haven't visited.
Right. Because like, maybe I've watched too much History 2, like the History Channel 2, where it's like the cryptozoologists and all the weirdos and their hair's like sticking out.
Yeah.
But like, the pyramids.
How?
That's some crazy construction, given what tools and things that they had available to them at the time.
Yeah. Don't give me some bullshit about how they work together to push those up. There is no way.
Perfectly symmetrical.
There's
like,
no
all of this.
way.
No, no. But I do feel like at this point in the game, maybe we would have seen more because like, I feel like we're probably really loud as a planet with like all the signals and shit we're sending out. So
all the concerts. And
then my brain goes, so is this a simulation? And then I'm like, oh, I don't want to think about that. But whatever. Because I think it was like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I think it was him. He like did a article for the scientific journal like 2 years ago or 3 years ago talking about like, are we in a simulation? And he basically was like, well, you can't disprove it. And I was like, fuck. I didn't need to read that. But, you know, whatever.
Do you drink coffee?
Oh, my God. Yes.
Is that coffee?
That's actually tea because, like, allergies, I wasn't sure how the third was going to be. So, but yes, I am a coffee girl.
What's your coffee order?
So I either like a straight espresso.
Okay.
But if I'm going, like that's we have an espresso maker at the house.
Yeah.
So we do espresso all the time. But if I go out, like to a coffee shop, I love a dirty chai iced latte.
Okay.
So good.
Ironic. Do you have any allergies?
Well, cats.
Me too.
I'm so allergic to cats.
Yep.
And horses. And apparently, so weird. And I was like that girl, like, you know, I feel like a lot of white girls are, but like a horse girl, obsessed with horses growing up, wanted a horse so bad. So like and not that my mother could have ever afforded a horse.
You know what's funny is you kind of look like a horse girl.
Most white girls do. Like we just do. Like it's just a thing. I was like 9 years old when that allergy kicked in.
Yeah.
And talk about devastation.
Oh, yeah.
I thought my
ruined
life was
your life.
over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was like, I'll never have a horse.
You mourned
I'll never
this.
get to ride a horse because I can't touch one, and then I just like blow up. Like,
what if your big break was them casting you for Yellowstone, but you had to tell them no because
I'd be finding some shots or something to inject myself with.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be some kind of allergy pill.
I'd be like, hey, I'll do it, but my character can never be on or near a horse.
Like, give me CGI. Or like, give me like a puppet.
Or like, just make me like, I don't know, just like anybody that they interact with that's not on the farm itself. Like anybody. Like, I'll be the bartender for all I give a shit. Like,
seriously. I love that show. Side note.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mr. Dutton. He's pretty attractive too as well.
Yes, he is. Especially with age. He's gotten better with age.
It's also just like his like energy.
He's kind of like rough.
His personality, like I'm sure.
Casey.
Yeah, he's like a dick though.
Go get the horse.
Right. Yes. You sound just like him. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. My husband has a man crush on him, too.
Okay, good.
Because he's just like, Kevin Costner is the man.
He is the man.
He's the man.
He's the man.
Yeah.
Rank these 3 in order of your favorite to least favorite.
Okay.
Queso, guac, and salsa.
Queso, salsa, guac.
Okay, same.
Still love guac, but I could bathe myself in queso.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. If heaven is anything like I want it to be, it's me surrounded by queso.
Yep, that and dogs.
Yeah.
And dinosaurs.
Peaceful dinosaurs. Spotify or Apple Music?
Apple Music, but I think I need to be on Spotify because everyone does Spotify. Don't do it?
Don't do it.
Because the Gen Z is really pushing the Spotify.
Yeah, but don't do it.
Why?
Stick with the Apple.
Why is that?
Because I tried Spotify. So
is it crazy?
I gave in. I tried it. I was like, you know what? My wife has Spotify. She's paying for it on her own. I'm still on my parents' Apple Music family plan. And I'm going to ride that shit until they tell me to hop off.
Reasonably so.
So, very sexual comment there. Ride that shit until they tell me to hop off. So, Spotify is convenient, right? So, you've got the music, you've got the podcast in one app. Yeah, you don't have to go from Apple Music to Apple Podcasts to listen to your shit. I get it. It's convenient. The playlists on Spotify, far better than Apple could ever dream of.
That's why I kind of want to do it.
Far better. But
they
now,
have so many good playlists.
But listen to me on this one. I don't know if you're anything like me. I want to discover new music on my own.
Okay.
I want to seek it out.
Okay.
I am not going to play a playlist that Spotify thinks is right for me because daily I listen to the same 25 songs or so that I listened to yesterday, the day before yesterday, the day before that.
I have my one playlist.
I have my one playlist that I listen to.
Sometimes.
Correct. If I discover a song that I fuck with so hard, I will add it to that playlist, and then that song gets in the rotation.
Yep.
And then on Fridays when music comes out, I'll explore the Apple Music. Like, hey, these musics, these albums, these singles, whatever came out today. Oh, that looks interesting. I'll try that. And I'll listen to that full album or something. But people are like, oh, how do you discover new music? Spotify does it for me. I don't care. I want to discover it on my own. I'm in control here.
Got it.
Apple can never touch the algorithms that Spotify's playlists. I will admit that to the Spotify stans. But I'm also an Apple nerd. Yeah. This is an Apple computer. This is an Apple Watch. This is an iPhone. That's an iWatch. I will. It could come out that Apple has been funneling my money to like fund terrorist organizations, and I'd be like, that sucks. When's the next Mac coming out though?
Right.
Like,
don't make me change this OS.
I will buy your $4,000 VR headset and never use it, but be able to whip it out at parties and be like, I bought that shit. I will do it. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah, I feel that. Although, they just said they were halting production.
I did see that, because no one's buying it.
Who's going to buy a $4,000 goggle?
If they make it $2,000, I'll buy it tomorrow.
Really?
I'll buy it tomorrow.
Fair.
I'll finance it with my Apple Card because it's interest-free financing. See, that's how much of an Apple nerd I am. But I will ride Apple till the day that I die, probably.
Yeah, it's a convenience thing.
It is. All their shit works together. I can text someone on here, and it's right there, or it's right here.
The iMessage on the laptop is so convenient.
It is. It used to work separately than your phone, though. But now if I delete a message on my laptop, it's deleted on my phone, too.
It's awesome.
It all works together.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
I love it.
Thank you, Apple.
So seamless. All us OCD, ADHD people love it.
The way that you used to talk about Jeff Goldblum, I want Tim Cook in your chair right now. If I could interview Tim Cook, I would... If I submitted a time off request and my job told me no, and the reasoning was I have the opportunity to go to Apple Park and interview Tim Cook. If they're like, no, you can't have the day off, I'm quitting. Yeah, that's how serious I am about it. I am unemployed then. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Fair.
Or I'll put my 2 weeks notice in, and then within the 2 weeks, I'll be like, I can have my job back after I do the interview.
Yeah.
Because I would just assume that as I'm interviewing Tim Cook, he'd be like, wow, this guy's really great. Maybe I'll hire him, put him in charge of our creative department. Right. You'll see me up there on stage for those nerd concerts they have twice a year. Check out the new iPhone, guys. Look at it. It's great.
See, that's your dream. I'm going to be a throuple with Jeff Goldblum. No, I'm just kidding.
Me and Tim Cook are going to get coffee every Wednesday morning before our first morning meetings.
And I'm going to make Jeff Goldblum coffee every morning.
Hey, there you go.
I need to calm down.
We'll put our dreams together, and I'll get Jeff Goldblum to headline a show on Apple TV Plus with Tim Cook.
And the whole time he's wearing my face on a sweater.
Yes.
Yes. Dreams, goals, my friends.
you get to listen to, on the same music train, you get to listen to 3 artists for the rest of your life. Who are they? You get their existing catalog that they've already released, but then you also get everything that they put out in the future. You're not restricted to just what they've got so far.
This one's hard because, like, I'm not a big music person.
Really?
I like listening to music, but, like, I am not... Like, people are obsessed with music.
Yeah, I'm not that person.
I'm not. I'm more like a movie kind of person.
Where were you?
I know. Where was I? Because
Do you go by Liz?
Yeah, you can call me Liz.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Where were you, Liz?
I don't know. Clearly not here. Not in the right place.
This is bullshit.
2 years ago, I was probably... Well, no, I was coming out of my depression by then, so...
If I would have hit you up and been like, hey, you're the perfect person for this movie podcast, you would have done it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
1,000%. We'll do our Jurassic Park, like play-by-play, for sure.
Okay, that's cool.
For music, that's so hard. I will say off the bat, Britney Spears. I do love Britney Spears' music. She's got so many bops, and she's got such a variety. I'd probably say, oh God, maybe Beyonce.
Okay.
I love Beyonce, and I'm just gonna claim that also includes Destiny's Child. I really don't know. I'd like just different artists. So if I just had to pick the 2, 3, Beyonce, Motley Crue. I know, completely
Very different.
But I love Motley Crue, so yeah. I know.
Ooh, you know what? I think
was
I'm
so
gonna.
random.
That's such a basic question that people ask all the time. 3 hours for the rest of your life. You know what? I'm gonna reshape. So this is what's also fun is I love doing these episodes and these questions like change and evolve over time. So I'm gonna rephrase this question.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say you get to put on a music festival with 3 days. Who's the headliner for each of the 3 days? Do your answers change, or is it still Beyonce, Motley Crue? And who was the other one?
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. That's a great lineup.
And I've seen all 3 in concert.
There's something for everybody.
There's
pop, there's some rap and hip hop-ish,
Yes.
and then there's
classic rock.
rock.
So I saw Beyonce when she headlined Coachella, and it was like a spiritual
Did you
experience. Oh yeah, it was so freaking great. And it was really cool watching her documentary Homecoming on Netflix because I was like, I was there. So to see like all the thought and intention behind what she did, it just made it even more beautiful. So yeah, I'd probably say headline all 3 of them. And I want post-conservatorship Britney Spears because I don't want her to lip sing. I want her to really sing.
Yeah, I want her to belt from the soul.
And she can actually sing. That's what people don't realize is that she is a great singer. So, because I saw her when she first, like when her Vegas residency first opened. So
Okay.
this was like 2014. And then I saw Motley Crue like either was it last year or the year before last, and they actually sucked, but it's because they're old. Vince Neil just
Needs to stop.
yeah, he was off pitch and he was behind the music. And I remember watching Mick Mars and who's the bassist, Nikki Sixx. They're like looking at each other like dun, 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 trying to slow down because like Vince is like off. He's like off pitch
that's
or
tough.
off pace. So yeah, it was a little bit of a train wreck. Not gonna lie.
So you might not have a good answer to this next one because your love for music is very steady. It's not an obsession.
Yeah.
But if you were
That's a good way to describe it.
if you were to do karaoke, what's your karaoke song?
Ooh, either Cher or Celine Dion.
Okay.
Always.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Easy.
Very, very instant answers
Love me
there.
some Cher. Cher's a top artist too. Let me throw her up there.
Okay.
She's a favorable mention.
Okay.
And Celine Dion. And I've seen Celine Dion in concert too. I saw her at Vegas and I cried.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
It was great.
What does your ideal stress-free, obligation-free Saturday look like to you?
Like not going on vacation, like being at home in Atlanta kind of thing.
Yeah, you're home. You're not doing anything work related. You don't have any podcast stuff going on. You have no obligations, no errands to run, nothing. What are you doing? Almost like a self-care day, I guess. To tie it all in.
Eating something yummy. I love food. But I wouldn't call myself a foodie. Like, I love food. I love trying new food. But, like, if you were to, because people always assume you live in Atlanta, what's your recommendation? That gives me so much anxiety because I'm like, I'm not, like, tapped into the food scene. So that, to me, is, like, a foodie. Like, you're not just loving food, but you're tapped into the food scene. So, just side note, I'm not a foodie, but I love food. So, something yummy. I love being outside. So, probably, like, going for a nice walk. But then maybe just like laying on the couch and not doing anything.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly doing everything, I feel like. Because, you know, I work my 9 to 5 and then I also have the podcast. I have a bunch of shit going on. So if like vacations and like traveling wasn't on the table, it would be being lazy and just calling it a rot day, watching TV, catching up on TV, whatever. That's what I would do. Eating good, yummy food.
Okay. Good deal. Good answer. What does success look like to you? Now, and we kind of brushed on that, but
to me, success is believing in yourself to keep going in whatever it is. I think success is only defined by you, like your individual self. Because like people will give blanket like statements of success. I like to say success is unique to you, right? And so my version of success is believing in myself to know that I have what it takes, and then just to keep walking the path. And even though like in real time, I'm not seeing necessarily those results, but just having the knowing that it's going to happen and not giving up on it. So my success to me is the fact that I have done this so far. I'm continuing to do it, and I'm growing it, and the people I keep meeting, and like, because now I'm at the stage where people are noticing it more, noticing me, noticing the work and effort that I'm putting into it. And that is success. And like, I think it'll keep growing. So success to me is believing in myself and yourself enough to keep pursuing whatever it is you're pursuing. And I also want to say, like, not everybody wants to do a side hustle. Not everybody wants to be creative. Not everybody wants to, you know, be a public figure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It could be, I want to start a family.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, I want to really establish like a strong garden and like really eat clean, healthy food. That seems really specific, but like you want to like live on the live off the land, so to speak. Like that seems like a really high goal. Like success to me is just listening to your goals and believing in them and pursuing them. Because then also your goal could be to climb the corporate ladder and be the freaking VP, be the CEO, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Start your own company, whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many different avenues of success.
Mm-hmm.
Success is not just your job and your money. So identify what success means to you, I think, is one level of success, as silly as that sounds, and then pursuing it, whatever that is.
Amazing. Couple more. What is your biggest fear?
Snakes. Fucking hate snakes. God bless, I hate snakes. If you want to see me become unglued, I mean unhinged, not normal reaction.
Throw a snake into the room.
Oh, do not fucking do that. I will scream. That just got hot and sweaty. But like we were at Gibbs Gardens last weekend, which is like, for those not familiar, it's like in, where is it? Like Ball Ground, Georgia.
Okay.
Beautiful big garden. And we're walking past like the pond area, and I see 2 baby snakes. Shit, hell no. Fuck me up. I am not okay with that. I don't care. And like the people we're with, one of them goes, well, it's a baby. I was like, those are the worst kind. Have you not heard? Like they're the ones that can't
Smaller
control.
they are, the deadlier they are.
Yeah, because they can't control their venoms. When they bite you, it's like, and you're dead. They're dead. Everyone's dead. Fuck a snake. And then like my husband's really good at identifying like which ones are bad. And I'm like, I don't want to be close enough to know if it's good or bad. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh,
snake is a snake.
yeah. He's like, those are baby copperheads. So then I'm running. I don't want to be anywhere near a baby copperhead. So yeah, snakes and heights.
Snakes and heights. And then lastly, do you change your work clothes when you get home from work, or do you stay in them?
Well, I work remote mostly.
That's true.
So I wear a lot of athleisure.
There you go.
So, you know what's really funny? I saw this TikTok the other day, and like, you know Microsoft Teams?
Yeah.
Like it's like a chat system. So
Of
our
course.
company uses it, and there's like when someone's calling you, it has like a certain like ringtone, right?
Yep.
Very specific to the Teams. And it was like, the TikTok was like, how dare work interrupt my daily chores? And it's like somebody cleaning, and then they hear that do-do-do-do-do, like the ringtone. And so they're like, ah, shit, kind of running. And then they like they're like in like a t-shirt, whatever.
Yeah.
So then they throw on like their pullover with the company logo. They like put their glasses on, adjust themselves. But it's like, I laugh so hard because like I sometimes look like a monster, you know. I don't care, like whatever, I wash my face, we're good, but I'm not trying to impress anybody, right? But like when I know a video call that I'm gonna have to turn the video camera on, I have like my little quote unquote hacks to make myself look like I really put effort in. So like I'll put on like a company pullover, a company shirt, maybe I'll pin my hair back to give it like, you know, some levels, put my well, I have to wear glasses anyway when I work because of my the computer screen, but I have like little hacks. So it's I know that's not the question you asked, but that is my way of, well, do you change? Well, it's actually like I just wear athleisure, but I have like funny little things that make me work presentable. Hopefully nobody at my job is hearing this going, we know your secret. But
Who knows?
Do you know my secret? Because no one's said anything so far.
There you go.
Like I have like a leopard print headband. I'm like, ooh, there's a style piece. Changes the whole outfit. Even though I'm like in a sports bra. Like, who cares?
Liz, that's all the time we have on mine.
Oh my gosh, we're not gonna talk about Jurassic Park anymore? No, I'm just kidding.
We can talk about Jurassic Park.
I love it.
But this was so fun.
So much fun.
This is really part 1.
And this is the kind of like episodes I like. Like we got like deep. We got to hear, you know, the story, and then we talk about some fun shit.
That's exactly right. There's always fun shit saved for the end.
Yeah.
Now you can do what I don't know where this sentence is going. We talked about this earlier. Plug yourself.
Yes. So if you would like to listen to the podcast, it's called The In Between with Elizabeth Cheney. So you can follow me on Instagram at in.betweenpod, pod as in podcast. And then my personal is Elizabeth Cheney _. Follow both because all my life stuff and like the things I keep up with the mostly is on my personal, but like podcast updates will go on the podcast one. And then on TikTok and YouTube, it's the In Between podcast because I like to do video episodes as well because it's fun. But like it's funny because like my ADHD, I get like I can't always pay attention to like videos because like people like YouTube is so big, right? And I'm like, I can't just watch a YouTube video because like I get too distracted.
Right.
But I'll definitely put that content out there for you guys. So that's just what it is.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I can't wait to do yours now.
Yes.
Yeah, if you guys liked what you heard, if you liked her story, her journey, and all the things in between, I'll put links of her stuff in the description so that you can just access it quickly. You don't have to go searching for it. It'll be right there, easy access. Thank you so much for being on this. This was so much fun.
So much
Never
fun.
know when you're going to start a recording and realize you found a good friend in it. So
I agree with that.
It's a great feeling. So guys, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.